reading an article where they run down every Major League Baseball franchise's Mount Rushmore of hitters since 1980.
All right.
So obviously for the Rangers, that encompasses most, though not all, of their history. So I was curious for y'all who the 4 would be, because I did not agree with who the article listed as their 4.
All right, Kevin. So we discussed this yesterday off air for a brief moment.
Yes.
Before, I don't know, you disappeared and went somewhere, and I don't think it was the bathroom. So I don't know what happened. Maybe the boss came in.
I don't remember.
That's off air stuff,
It's gonna
Kevin.
bother me.
But I didn't get to ask you, what were the qualifications for best hitter? Because hitter doesn't necessarily mean power hitter, but Josh Hamilton was a phenomenal hitter no matter what. So was Nelson Cruz.
This is the brilliance of this. In the article, so I pass along to you, all they mean by hitters are non-pitchers. So you can use whatever qualifiers you want. Or you can quantify it, I guess I should say, however you like.
All right. Because Michael Young being on that list is pretty significant, because as a Rangers hitter, he was one of the best around, but he wasn't a big-time power hitter. He would pop you, about 18, 20 home runs, something like that. Am I right about Michael Young?
Right.
Yeah, but
he was not.
You were never going to get a 40 home run season out of him.
I believe he had 200 hits 4 or 5 years in his career, like hits per year.
I'm going to say A-Rod. I'm going to say Juan Gonzalez. I'm going to say Josh Hamilton.
Okay.
And I'm going to say Palmeiro. That's my top 4. That's my Mount Rushmore of hitters.
Now, one of those is on this list. But first of all, I think A-Rod is a really intriguing. There's nobody who has had, or I guess maybe you could argue about Juan, has had as much of an impact statistically as in 3 years as A-Rod did. Now, I realize that did not translate, and there's a whole bunch of other problems. But yeah, he is not on the list or even mentioned as an honorable mention. Like, for example, Elvis Andrus and Nelson Cruz are honorable mentions, but not A-Rod.
This is just offensively?
Yes. I think that's absurd. Like, absurd.
Wouldn't Kinsler be a better offensive weapon than Elvis?
Kinsler is in honorable mention, which, by the way, we're going to have Kinsler on the show on Friday. The honorable mention, well, tell me who yours are first, and then I'll go through the list.
Can I ask you a question, too? How much do you weigh and consider offensive WAR in this? How much would y'all?
That would help me out. Okay. I would, because when you're trying to make this, I wouldn't just go offensive WAR are my 4 guys.
Okay.
But
yeah, and because I can give you the top 10 in offensive WAR after we give our list.
Okay. Mike, who's your 4?
I know I'm supposed to answer this on the air, not have dead air.
I mean, I can read text if you want.
Go ahead and read text. I have 5 guys, and I have to eliminate 1.
Yes, I think that's right. I wonder if our 5 are the same. Pudge, Michael Young, Juan Gon, and Hamilton from the 817. From the 682, Pudge, Young, Hamilton, Gonzalez. From the 432, Gonzalez, Hamilton, Palmeiro, and Rugi. That is a fascinating list to me. And
come on.
Yeah, that is a fascinating one to me. But I appreciate all of the
Don't tell them how to list.
I am not. And remember,
what
Mount
makes
Rushmore,
Rugi better than Joey Gallo?
Don't worry about that, Mike. Don't tell them how to list. I would probably rank
Joey Gallo over Rugi for Ranger.
You get 4. That is how Mount Rushmore works. You get 4. So I did see someone send in 7, and that's not what we're going to do.
I gave you 4. It was A-Rod, Juan, Josh, and Palmeiro.
I think the easiest one for me is Juan Gonzalez. Yep. That's the easiest one.
And you got to see him, right front and center on another team, too.
Called me Poppy. I don't think he had a clue what my name was, but he was a good teammate. So I feel like, even though there was so much defense involved in this, I'm just going to look at his Texas numbers. I want to go Pudge number 2. Just to give you an idea, Pudge in his 13 years with the Texas Rangers batted .304 with an .828 OPS. He had 217 home runs for the Texas Rangers. I feel like that's enough for me to put Pudge on the list.
I agree.
But I understand that I'm trying to take out the defensive aspect of it to put him on there. My 3 that I have left.
If you want to throw in defense, knock yourself out.
But I think you said it's just
hitters,
an
Kevin.
offensive.
It's hitters. Let him do it with
It's
hitters.
Beltre, A-Rod, and Josh Hamilton are the 3 I'm deciding between and leaving one off. I think I always want to leave off A-Rod because it's just not a fan favorite at all. But I do know in his 3 years here, you can't have 3 better years offensively than he did. And in fact, he had better years if you take the 3 best years of Juan Gonzalez here. I think you would say A-Rod was better than those 3 years.
I think you're right. Somebody asked what happened to Julio Franco. I loved Julio Franco, but these are if one
he
thing
was 89 to 93.
And if one thing the Rangers have a good history of, we got some people that can swing the bat.
Yes.
So
yes. All right, I will go with Hamilton and Beltre and be biased and keep A-Rod off, even though it's
tell
tough.
everybody your 4 again.
Juan, Pudge, Beltre, and Hamilton.
Okay.
A-Rod being 5th, and I'm probably being way too biased.
I also did boycott the Rangers after they traded A-Rod, even though I didn't love A-Rod.
Okay.
For 1 year.
Okay.
And they go to the playoffs that year, of course.
Now, Bleacher Report put their 4 as Adrian Beltre, Juan Gonzalez, Pudge, and Michael Young. The argument for Michael Young goes like this.
I don't mind Michael Young at all.
I don't either.
I'm bumping Beltre and putting Hamilton on there. Look, I have stated many times I'm not the biggest fan personally in the world of Josh Hamilton. However, in a very defined time period, it felt like Josh Hamilton was the most terrifying person coming up to the plate.
The Yankees walked him almost the whole series because they were like, we can't stop him.
Yes, and because of that, he goes on my list. And so I'm subbing out Beltre, keeping Young, and putting Hamilton on the list because with Michael Young, he leads the team all-time in hits, doubles, triples, total bases.
And runs scored.
Yeah, that's a pretty good indication of hitting. So I'm going to go Michael Young, Josh Hamilton, Pudge, and Juan Gonzalez. Juan Gonzalez, I'm with you. I think that's the one that, he's got to go.
All right.
On the list.
Yes.
I do want to get to the end. I do think also, does years played help the WAR number?
Because that's, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it's an accumulation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the accumulation of offensive WAR for the Rangers' top 10. Rusty Greer's number 10. Number 9 is Elvis at 29.7 WAR. Ian Kinsler is number 8 at 30. Adrian Beltre is number 7 at 35. Juan Gonzalez is number 6 at 37.
Wow.
Pudge is number 5 at 37.9. Toby Hara is at 4 with a 38.3.
I guess if you said after 80, that helps you out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Michael Young and Frank Howard are tied for second at 38.7, and Rafael Palmeiro is number 1 with a 41.1.
And Toby Hara and Frank Howard are both. They wouldn't have fit.
And they can't. They count Frank Howard's Washington stats too. Those aren't just all Texas.
Yeah,
stats.
probably so. But
they
yeah.
do.
And so that's again, Palmeiro's right up there at the top.
Gosh, I should.
So take out Howard and Hara and tell us who's at the top.
It would be Palmeiro, Michael Young, Pudge, Juan Gonzalez, Adrian Beltre.
Okay. I get that from the 903 Bassick. How could you keep Palmeiro out of the top
You know
4?
what? After that makes it really tough.
Who are you bumping?
The leading OPS guy would be
I have so
A-Rod.
much respect for Beltre. Here's the deal.
I
know that Josh Hamilton hit the home run in the 10th inning of Game 6 to give the Rangers the lead back. Let me ask you this: out of all the hitters we've just named, who do you want runner on second base? How about second and third? Down by 1 run, this guy's up to bat. I want Beltre. I don't know what Beltre's numbers are, runners in scoring position and all that stuff.
I want Michael Young.
I guess for a single that could
exactly, because I'm just thinking, because you said down 1, and I'm like, second and third, I get a single, I win. I think I might pick Michael Young. But I understand where you're going with
Pudge
that.
is, I was just looking this up. Michael Young is a 301 hitter for his career in 13 years with the Rangers, and Pudge is a 304 hitter in his career. Pudge has a little bit higher OPS for his Rangers career, about 30 points higher than Michael Young, and they both played 13 years for the Rangers, so it kind of makes it like, hey, they played approximately the same amount of games. It's tough to not have Palmeiro on it.
There
really
are a lot
is.
of people who have voted for Palmeiro from
and
the 817, from the 972.
If I had to do that, I'd bump Hamilton off and put on Palmeiro.
Yeah, when you asked that question, Mike, I know Kevin said I need a hit, and it's the guy that has the most hits.
Yeah.
But in that instance, you're asking me, I want Palmeiro at the plate. I feel like I'm getting a great. It's a great. You're probably getting a double. Is probably what you're getting out of him, and then it's going to score a run from second.
It's tough too, because when Palmeiro came up, some people started talking about steroids, and if we don't need to get into the specifics.
Right.
But if we're really being honest about this, he ain't the only one. That's
Most of our list has to go away.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo my. Michael Young stays.
Yeah,
I hate saying this.
Hold on, you're saying Michael Young.
I don't think we can come up with 4 good guys when it comes to pitching for the Rangers. This is tough. We're writing down 7, 8, 9 guys to pick from, and it's really tough to get
I
it
still
down.
have to do it post 80 because then I can't do Fergie, right?
Right. Or like a Gaylord Perry, or a Burt Blyleven. I know he wasn't here a long time. Now, I will say...
You want war for pitchers, Mike?
Do you want to do that tomorrow?
Maybe tomorrow, because I have this one question before we get to crosstalk. Do you think Corey Seager could knock one of these 4 guys? Whoever your 4 are, do you think Seager could end up being one of the 4 greatest hitters in Rangers history?
The way he's hitting this season, yes.
Well, I mean, yeah.
The way he's hitting this season. Was he hitting the same way last season?
No.
I think he's hitting different than he was last season. So
Better.
we have 2 years of Corey Seager, and I'm not even going to go back into his Dodger time and say yes. But the way he's hitting at this moment right now, yes.
And against the new rules, too. Like, that's helped him out.
For sure.